Hey everyone, this is Michael of the Round Number One YouTube channel. Now today I'll be talking about the Britt Baker versus Taya match that occurred on the July 26th episode of AEW Dynamite. Also, Lufisto's comments over a fan sign which was shown immediately after Britt Baker won. And finally, Britt Baker clarifies comments she made about WWE's decision not to sign indie stars. Now, I have like a 30 minute episode time limit, so hopefully I can crank this episode out within that time. Now, on the July 26, 2023 episode of AEW Dynamite, Britt Baker defeated Taya Valkyrie in a match that, in my opinion, was to rebuild Britt as a contender for the AEW Women's Championship and possibly be a contender to Toni Storm at possibly All In. Now, that Wednesday I couldn't watch Dynamite. I just happened to take up a second job, and I was working that night. So, I got home, I took a shower, I went to bed, and I'm just on my phone, in my bed, trying to get myself in the mood to get myself relaxed to go to sleep. And I decided to go on Twitter, or as the new name of Twitter, I think it's called X now. Anyways, I'm gonna keep on calling it Twitter. So I went on Twitter and just flipping through the tweets, and I was absolutely floored regarding and the amount of comments, especially about this one match that took place on Dynamite. And I took a screenshot of some fan comments made by fans. I'm gonna read it out to you. One Twitter user wrote, "Britt versus Taya was beyond terrible and exposed a number of problems that plague AEW's women division, mainly that centering everything around Breaker stigmatized its growth and development. Her delusions of being a high caliber talent and close friendship with the boss are the blame." Another commenter wrote, "It's easy to..." Oh, geez, I don't know why I can't read my own writing. "It's easy to forget she was pretty new to wrestling when the company started." Yeah, Britt Baker was supposedly the first female in-ring talent to be signed to AEW. The commenter goes on to say, "They threw her right at the top of the division, and unfortunately, she never improved. She's the same performer she was years ago, for better or for worse." And the last screenshot I took of a Twitter comment, this person goes on to say, "Britt would benefit the most from a run at the PC. I think 3 months at the PC and Britt can be a top current talent in the women's division." And trust me, I'll get into the comments Britt has made about the WWPC in this episode, but let me continue because I'm on a strict time limit to record this episode. So, as I said, I was working that night, couldn't watch Dynamite. I went on Twitter. I was floored over the amount of comments, just specifically on this match. I had to go grab my laptop, and I went to one of those sites where you can find a recording of a wrestling program, and I found a recording episode of Dynamite, and I specifically watched Dynamite just for that one match, and that one match only, and then I just turned off my computer and I went to sleep. Now, this match was a first-time matchup between both women. One being a Canadian veteran that has won championships in Mexico and the United States. Obviously, I'm talking about Taya Valkyrie. And the other, as you can hear, I have a lot of notes for this episode. The other person is, the first woman talent signed to AEW, And in my opinion, she's Tony Khan's princess. This match was planned for Britt Baker to be highlighted as a very strong contender for the AEW Women's Championship, and to also give Tony Khan the rub, and I'll get into that shortly. But I just gotta say this before I continue, because if you've been listening to this channel or you're new to this channel, please watch and listen to my previous uploads on this YouTube channel, round number 1. I have said in numerous uploads that the AEW Women's Division is a negative towards the growth of AEW. And, I just realized I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't told you my opinion of the match. So, I found this match to be embarrassing to watch. There are many reasons why some people think wrestling matches are embarrassing to watch. For me, if I'm not reacting positively to watching the match from home while seeing the seated audience show tiny reaction to the talent in the ring, showing, that shows that, the people wrestling lack talent. And, it's a damn shame, but, a lot of the in-ring work from the AEW Women's Division is not acceptable for national TV. And, you gotta take this for instance. AEW has been on Turner Networks for about 4 years. I think tomorrow we're approaching the 200th episode of Dynamite. Now, this may seem hard to believe, but and a lot of people have lived through this area. A lot of people have forgot about this fact. I'm about to drop a fact on you guys that a lot of people forgot about. I even forgot about it. I had to be reminded about this. Do you know that the TNA Impact roster, women's roster from like 11 years ago, has put this AEW roster to shame? Like, do you know that there's been like multiple episodes of TNA Impact where the women were bringing in higher ratings than the men's matches? Yeah, a lot of people don't remember that, and even I said before, I didn't remember that, and I lived through that, and the same thing goes for the WWE women. There's been multiple episodes of Monday Night Raw, and that the women have drawn higher ratings than the men, and even closed the show out. Now, let's continue on, and let's talk about Lufisto. Lufisto is a Canadian wrestler. She's native to the province of Quebec. She's a 25-year-plus ring veteran. She was featured in a trios match. It was her, Emi Sakura, and the Bunny versus, I believe, Ruby Soho, Sky Blue, and Abaddon. This took place during an episode of AEW's Dark Elevation, which you can find on YouTube. I believe the April 2022 episode. And, when Lufisto made those comments regarding the fan sign that was shown immediately after Britt Baker won the match that read, book the women's division better or properly. Actually, the real quote is, what the sign said was, book the women better. So, a lot of people, gotta remember that, Lufisto has been in many locker rooms. And, even though she's been in AEW for what seemed like a cup of coffee, she has been in the AEW locker room. She has experienced the AEW locker room. So, So what happened is Lufisto got on Twitter and she wrote the following. And I got to open up my car door because it's pretty hot. Ooh. So Lufisto wrote on Twitter, which got a lot of attention. She wrote, and I quote, "It's cute how people blame booking for a bad women's division. Talent with too much power, talent degenerating. I hope I said it right. Each other, the I need to drink some water. I can't pronounce it. Talent trash talking potential employees so they never get in as soon as they walk in. It all starts here." And then she writes, the one you called FN French Canadian asshole. And obviously FN refers to her saying, this is not a adult, this is not a kid's show, so I can say fucking. What she meant to say is the one you called fucking French Canadian asshole. Now, what she said is big facts. This is what she said in this Twitter posting is what people outside of AEW have been hearing about the inside of AEW. And although she was asked by people to clarify her tweets and name some names, but she didn't name some names, but it's so interesting that even with her not naming names, like, you can attribute to what she said to a number of people on the AEW roster, such as Britt Baker, and Britt Baker saying that Thunder Rosa's injury was fake. You can also attribute to a person like Tony Storm, who said the same thing sitting right beside Tony Khan at a media scrum. I believe the same media scrum which had CM Punk go off on the Elite. You have and Thunder Rosa is not an angel herself. Supposedly her and Ivelisse had bad blood going back as far as Lucha Underground, and they had a bad match in AEW, and supposedly Rosa was a big factor in Ivelisse getting fired from AEW. And then you have a person named Saraya, aka Paige, who just arrived into AEW and is already like, she has how you say, put her anchor on Britt Baker, and like, she's already giving interviews saying that Thunder Rosa is a woman who talks too much, and that Britt Baker is telling the truth and all that stuff. I mean, this whole AEW locker room is full of toxic people. And as far as Lufisto ending her tweet saying the one you called fucking French Canadian asshole, it might not be attributed to Britt, but she wrestled in that match against Ruby Soho, Abaddon, and I forgot who else. Let me go back into my notes. It was Ruby Soho, Abaddon, and Sky Blue. For all we know, one of those three other women probably called her a French Canadian asshole. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Britt Baker on the mic and in the ring, with this matchup on the previous Dynamite, I expected a decent match with Taya, especially with Taya being the veteran, and I felt it was Taya's job to manage the match, so to highlight Britt Baker, who is gonna be the one going over and is gonna be the one who is gonna be contending for the AEW Women's Championship at supposedly All In. And the match was terrible. the match couldn't be saved. Now, let me talk about, and this might get me in a lot of trouble. Let me talk about this propaganda, i.e., the planted fan with a sign that read "Book the women's division better." You know, this match, in my opinion, was planned to be a great match, followed up with propaganda to make TK get the rub. Because TK thinks, Tony Khan thinks the very few storylines he makes for the women's division are fantastic, and, you know, they must include Britt and have Britt be showcased the most. Sort of like she's like the Charlotte Flair role in and, you know, Britt's the star, and, you know, there's, let me like stop right there. You know, just the whole purpose of the whoever was directing the show to approve that shot of the fan holding the sign. I mean, it has to be propaganda. Like, just think about it for a sec. How can it not be propaganda? Like, how can you blame, as Lufisto said, how can you blame bad booking for a bad women's division? It makes sense, right? So anyways, so very quickly, before I end this upload, a lot of people got on Britt Baker's case in the days following the match regarding comments made by her. I believe it was done. I'm not sure exactly where the comments came from, but let me tell you what she said. She had an interview with somebody, and she said the following. She said, "I don't think putting a bunch of models and athletes off the street in a warehouse and teaching them all to do the same thing the same way at the same time is going to create a successful roster." You know, she said that, and she got a lot of criticism over that comment. And you know what I find so strange is that she made that comment, and then, like, she goes, if you actually take the time to, like, look at the interviews she's given out, like, she takes the time to say, "Oh, my dream match is against Charlotte," or "My dream match is against Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks." "Oh, my dream match is against Bayley." "Oh, my dream match is against Becky Lynch." Not knowing that, you know, all these women were basically, you know, trained in this same warehouse, you know, trained in this WWE style that supposedly Britt thinks doesn't make a successful roster. Like, you know, as far as I know, the WWE women's roster is doing very successful. A lot of the women are making some serious cash. If you don't believe me, look at Asuka's YouTube channel. I believe last year she bought a brand new $100,000 US Lexus. I mean, these women are making tons of money. They're extremely successful. They're in movies. They're in television shows. They're being invited to the ESPYs. They're being invited to, like, award shows. AEW, like, what? I saw Britt Baker invited to the Nick Cannon show, and, like, which had, like, what, 5 episodes before it got canceled. People got on her case regarding those comments about the WWPC, and she also made another comment regarding WWE saying in 2021 that they are refraining from signing indie talent, and like, I know for sure. Like, I actually looked into it. WWE never said in 2021 or any time later that they'll stop hiring indie stars. The exact quote was that they are looking more into bringing athletes, bringing more athletes into the WWE Performance Center and training them to become WWE superstars. Like, that didn't mean they didn't mean by saying that they're gonna stop hiring indie talent, you know. And I don't know how she got that. Like, apparently when Meltzer reported the news, he reported in a way that made readers believe that WWE is not looking to not hiring indie talents anymore and focus more on the athletes, which apparently wasn't true. And a lot of people got on Britt Baker's case for making that statement, and she tried to clarify it, but uh, it she got her source from Meltzer. So now I wish I had more time to talk. I would like to talk more on this, especially Britt's comments regarding WWE's training, WWE's warehouse not being the proper place to have a successful roster. Like, I mean, God, look at the current AEW's women roster. Like, how many people are injured? You got Britt Baker. You got Britt Baker, and she can't relax because at the same time she disparaged Thunder Rosa over her back injury. So for her to sit out when she has her back injury herself would make her look like an idiot. So Britt Baker has a back injury and she is wrestling. She's being forced to wrestle because of her stupid ways. You have Yuki Yakuzawa with a neck injury, and like she just came over to America to become a full-time AEW wrestler, and she got injured within within a month. She's out with a neck injury. You have the Bunny who has fractured her orbital bone. You have Layla Hirsch who has a torn ACL, which I believe she's in the process of healing. That she'll be returning back to the ring soon. And you got people like people that are pregnant, people that are taking time off for unspecified personal reasons. Like, Ross is very limited and Ross is very injured because people are, for the most part, are getting hurt. Now, I wish I had more time to talk, but I'll leave you with this. Tony Khan has no experience running a company full of wrestling talent. So when you hear of his locker room being toxic on the men's side and the women's side, and AEW literally being a place where the inmates run the asylum, it's by design. Like, I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys understand what I just said, because to me it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you, I encourage you to listen to my previous uploads here on the Round Number One YouTube channel, or just listen to my future uploads of the Round Number One YouTube channel, and you'll eventually get to understand my thoughts on AEW and how it's run. So anyways, this is Michael of the Round Number One YouTube channel. I'll see you guys on the next upload.